chapter 7 of my book, The One Thing You Need to Know About God. We're doing the overview and kind of a Bible study here with it. So this is week 7, part 2 we're in of God's character, and chapter 7 is titled God's Thoughts About You. So obviously if you know God's thoughts about you, that'll give you some insight into his character and help you get to know him better. There's a lot that God says about us in the Bible. I put 20 scriptures at the end, just to kind of look through some of those things that I'm aware of that God says about us. Feel free to add anything else in that you want. If you want to comment or text or call me or anything like that, feel free. But anyways, that's what I'm aware of. And then I just kind of elaborated on 3 of the things there, but what God believes about you and what he says about you can really only be seen in Jesus. That's a consistent theme that you're seeing here. It's like, he's spoken so well of you, it can only be said it can only be seen in Jesus. So that's something that I don't think a lot of people hear. I think a lot of people hear a different message. Let's just put it like that, to be nice. But when you hear about how God speaks so well of you, obviously that's going to draw you to him, and that's what we're talking about. The main thing in this book is getting to know him. You're only going to want to get to know him or know him when you know of his thoughts about you. Okay, and how well he speaks of you. So the first one I elaborated on was how God believes that you matter. Okay. One of the biggest reasons I think people live without God is they're trying to fulfill, the heart's biggest need, which is to belong and to feel loved and to feel accepted and feel that they matter apart from God. So one of the scriptures that I broke down was one from the very beginning in Genesis 1:28, where it says, and it's very short actually, it says, God blessed them. But if you look into the what that word means in the original language, there's some real meat there. There's some good stuff. That word Barak, it's the word Barak in the original language, B-A-R-A-K. And what it means is to kneel down on one knee in adoration of and to speak well of. Okay? So if you think about that in something that happens in our modern day society, obviously you can kind of draw parallels to a man proposing to a woman. Okay? And that's, what I would say is kind of similar to what's going on there, is God on one knee proposing to mankind because we took his breath away and he wanted to spend the rest of his life with us. Now that's not what you hear a lot of times, but that is what I feel, what I'm through my studies and through what I've come to know, that's what I feel went on there. So obviously that will make you feel like you matter, and that will give you some good insight as to what God thinks about you. Okay, so you can meditate on that and talk more about that, amongst your groups. But that's a good thing to talk about and meditate on. The second thing was God believes you're worth his all. So this comes from the parable in Matthew 13, the hidden treasure. Again, this is like a small one. It's only like 3 or 4 verses, I think. But the reason why this one gets misunderstood a lot of times is because I think we tend to read the Bible like we're the main character, or like it's telling us what to do. So in that parable, it talks about like, selling everything that you have for the treasure. And we think that that's God telling us that that's what we're supposed to do. When actually, what that's telling us is that is showing us God's thoughts about us. We're actually the treasure, and God sold everything that he had, giving Jesus for us. Because if you think about it, we can't buy salvation. We can't, we give up everything that we have and buy salvation. That's not what that parable is talking about. It's talking about what God saw in us and gave up for us. So that again shows you some more about God's thoughts towards us. And the other one that I used was Genesis 1:26, again going back to the very beginning, talking about how we are made in his image and likeness. So, you think about when we have kids, or even if you want to think about it from a business perspective, like when we start a business, we believe in that business, right? Because we started, it's something that's birthed and came forth from us. We believe in it. We're made in God's image and likeness. He believes in us, okay? Despite what you might have heard. So, again, review some of these things. Talk about these things with other people in your group if you're doing a group study. Meditate and then read some more of those things that I put at the end there, the 20 things that God says about you. Let me know if you have any questions, anything else you want to talk about. Thanks for stopping by. Peace.